Okay, so this should probably take no more than 30 minutes to an hour. Don't feel rushed to answer any questions. If any questions are unclear, please specify to me what's unclear about the question. All information you're giving me is going to go on my YouTube account, and this is just so I can have the transcriptions done faster a little bit. All information you're giving me will be destroyed in a month. This is a pilot study. I am doing a study for a class project that looks at the perceptions of their political party affiliations. What that means is, when did they first start realize that they were, part of a political party identity, I guess. How do they come to understand their role in their political party, the role of the political party as it relates to democracy, the uses of democracy domestically and non-domestically, and just the in-betweens with that as well. At any time I am asking a question that's sensitive, just tell me it's a sensitive question and I need not want to answer. That's totally fine. At any time you want to stop with the interview, just let me know so, because this is of your volition. You don't have to answer the questions that I'm asking you. So to get into it, can you tell me, are you a registered voter?
No.
Why aren't you a registered voter?
Um, well, I haven't signed up, but I feel like I can still vote. I just haven't registered yet. So,
Okay, so let me flip that I upside down. If you were to vote tomorrow and you get to that part where it's asking for which party or which political ideology you follow, which box would you choose and why?
um, if I had to pick one, it would
Will you usually? You could always pick other, but yes, if you had to pick one.
be Democratic. And why?
Yeah, why would you decide to be a Democrat?
I feel like Republicans used to be Democratic, is what I've learned, and like, I feel like being a Democrat is like being open to change, whereas liberals are more focused on. Whereas I feel that Republicans are more focused on the money and like making other people richer and not actually helping benefit the lives of others.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my answer.
Okay, thank you. I want to get back to this question of you not being a registered voter. Have you ever been a registered voter before?
Um, no, because when I was turned 18, it was like after like the last election with Obama, and then when I was 21, I just didn't have the opportunity to do it. I feel like I was a registered voter. I just didn't have the opportunity to vote.
Why do you feel that you didn't have the opportunity to vote?
Um, well, I was busy at work and just didn't have time to go to like the church or whatnot. And then I had to go to like my designated spot, and I didn't know where that was. And it was like, I feel like being a voter is complicated because like you have to go to certain areas where you
Mm-hmm.
live at, and I
Yeah.
felt like you just can't. I feel like why can't you just go to anyone that's open or closer to you to vote?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you can, but I feel like it's dumb that you have to like go to a designated place to vote.
Tell me more about why you feel it's dumb to go to a designated place to vote.
Because what if you're not home? What if you're not in like your designated area or where you live at, and you don't have time to vote? So how? What are those people gonna do? I feel like it is a hassle for people, and I feel like that's why people don't vote
Huh.
because like they might not be able to, or might not know where their designated location is to work at. That's my understanding of it.
Hmm. And everything's based, I should have said this earlier, everything you tell me is going to be a right answer. There's no wrong answer. And it's just in your opinion. I want to know your thoughts and feelings on the subject matters. And, okay. So, now let me ask you a question. Why don't you register to vote? Because you gave me some good insight as to what you think is going on with other people. But what's going on with you? Tell me, how do you feel about you not? Tell me, you registering the votes. Why don't you register to vote?
Because, like, I feel like my opinion doesn't really matter.
Your opinion doesn't. Tell me, why do you feel and or think that your opinion doesn't matter?
Well, I'm not really into politics, but, like, I feel like politics is, like, a two-faced kind of game. It's like people have multiple phases. I feel like I don't want to be in a position where I have to pick, like, two parties. I feel like if there were going to be, I feel like it should be more than just one person leading our country. I feel like it should be two people, because, like, one person having all that control, being the chief of officer, like, yeah, you have to go through Congress, and yeah, you have to go through all this other stuff, but I feel like having two representations of our country is better than having one. Because you have one, like, look at us now, we have one person who, like, majority of people do not like. Majority of people feel like he's going to be a shitty president. So, having multiple representations, like, yeah, we have a shitty one, but yeah, we'll also have someone, like, maybe will be a better representation of us. And yeah, we have, like, the vice president, but, like, he's not a good representation of us either. So, I don't know. I feel like having two people be the representation of a free country is better than having one person be the leader of a free country. If that makes any sense. But
Everything you say will make sense. That's the whole point. I'm going to make sense of this all. Now, you really said two important things. I want to go to the first, most recent. So this idea that of representation, the vice president, in your opinion, doesn't represent the people. Now, is it the person in the vice president position or the role vice president?
a little bit of both.
Can you explain me? Can you elaborate more on that?
On the person right now, I feel like he's just out for money, and I feel like there's, like, no connection to the people, and people voted for these people, for these two candidates, and look where we're at now. We have more crisis, we have more lies being told to us than we ever had. And as the position, I feel like that person's only there just in case the presidents die. And then it all moves up. One person moves up a stature. One, like, the vice president becomes the president, then the secretary or whoever's after him becomes the vice president. I feel like if all things lead up and fail, it would be like the chain of command will end. Whereas at least you have two people, and maybe you might have, not, I don't want to say two vice presidents, but, like, you'll have, like, backup people. You'll have, like, a backup person to help them. Like, there'll be, like, two people instead of just one, and then, like, that chain of command is like boom, boom, boom. You have two people where, like, you automatically eliminate one of the problems. That's just my.
Now, to get back to the other interesting point you brought up some moments ago, you, in your opinion, don't feel that one person representing the entirety of a nation is sufficient. Rather, it should be two people. Now, if you were a director, your favorite director, or if you were to mock a favorite movie of yours, how would this two-person representation of the United States look like? Like, paint the scene for me. Walk me through this.
Well, initially I wouldn't just want two people. Now that I'm thinking, I would want like representation of like everyone. Like,
Okay.
I feel like there's not a representation of everyone, and I feel like not making it. I don't want to make it a race thing, but like it has to be like a race thing because like a lot of people don't know what it's like to live in a country. Like when we had our first black president, yeah, that's a big like movement for us. But like having a group of people who represents everyone will help and like have I feel like having like a council will help people like with rules and negotiating and just being together. But people like this one president idea. I feel like I don't like that one president idea. I feel like it's by barbaric a little bit just to have like one person. It feels like a monarchy, but a new reform, new age monarchy.
Tell me, how does this feel that it's a one rule, one person monarchy?
Because yes, you have a new person every year, but then that new person has different ideas than the next one, and then tries to shut everything down from that one, and then you have them for another 4 years, and then it's the same shit all over again. There's like no progressive. There's nothing. I feel like there's not a lot of progressive within the last 16 years because people had to fix what other people broken. Fix. I feel like there's like no consistency. Whereas like if you have a council and they're there for a little bit longer, you might get some shit done. You might have people wanting to listen to our government, wanting to listen to the news, wanting to be a part of America. Because I feel like people don't want to be a part of America. People don't want to vote because there's no representation of us. Nobody's actually listening to us. Nobody's actually giving a fuck about us. So why should we want to listen? Why should we want to participate into a country that don't give a damn about us? They just want our money.
So, to get back to something that you said, everything you say is very interesting, and I love your raw intensity. Please don't shy away from saying certain words. I'm not PC police. You can tell me things that make sense to you, express it in your own unique way, and just once again, thank you for doing that. I want to recapture something that you said earlier. You said it a couple times actually about this council. Now, to your understanding of how the political party, not even political party, how the U.S. government functions from the executive to the legislative to the judiciary, how would this council uh, incorporate all of those other parts I just mentioned, or how would it um, rebel against that? Like, how is this council different from what we would? How would it be different than what we have right now as this kind of trifecta?
It wouldn't. It would be the same exact thing. It would be like there'll still be like the executive, but it'd be more than one executive
Okay.
making a decision instead of just having one person be like, "Well, I'm going to push the fucking button because I can push the button." No, you have to go through something. You have to be like you have to go through not only you, but you have to try to incorporate everyone in that council to go to war or to set a nuclear bomb. Like now we have this fucking asshole shooting missiles at places. Like what the fuck? Are you trying to start a war? Are you trying to kill us? Are you trying to have people like bomb us over here? Because like from my knowledge, like, we haven't had any like actual bombs shoot down on us. other places have had bombs shoot down. Maybe we need to get a bomb shot down on us so that way we're like, okay, we need to change something. And sometimes change changing something will help something, and sometimes it won't. But to attempt to make a change is better than to just sit there and have the same old thing fuck us over all over again. And the council will be, well, council will go through the exact same thing. They will have to run and be elected because it just can't be some random Joe Smo running it, and it can't be a bunch of all white dudes. It has to be diverse. It has to have diversity because everyone needs to be represented because that's how you get people to actively listen, to actively be a part of a change. And they'll have Congress will still be there, all the judicial, all the other branches of government will still be there, but the council will be that chief of government, that chief that like our representation of this is what you can be when you get older. To give hope to kids that they can be president, or that they can be a part of the council, or that they can make a change in the world, and it doesn't have to be a drastic change, and it doesn't have to be like a horrible change, but it could be a change.
Thank you. Wow. Super interesting. So, I love this intensity and I loved where this conversation is going. I would like to bring it back to this idea of your political party. Voting, you are not a registered voter. You said numerous times that you just haven't had the chance to vote, and you kind of, explained why you don't feel like you need to vote because of the spirit of the whole political system, and you gave, at length great details on why you feel and your stance on that. So let me ask you a question of that initial first time of you registering to vote. So you told me a little bit that how you came to decide that you were going to vote as this though. Can you explain to me what was going on within that within your life at that point that made you realize that I am going to register as a Democrat versus a not a Democrat?
Um, Obama, really.
Obama.
He was actually running again for president, and I was like, I feel like he's, I feel like all for me, Democrats are wanting to help change the world and are the world, but they're not. They're just, I don't know. I really don't know why I decided to be Democratic. I just, at the time, Obama was a Democrat, and it was like, he's touching and talking about all the things that, like, I want to change in the world. I feel that need to be changed in the world. Whereas, not a lot of people were doing that. Not a lot of people were talking about that, so, I don't know. I wasn't really a big fan of Hillary either, so I'm still a Democrat, even though she was a Democrat. But I feel like being a Democrat is just wanting change in all the right areas and knowing that it's not always about money. Where I feel like Republicans think about money more often than thinking about the social issues and the traditional issues. But tradition, what is a tradition? Tradition doesn't really happen every day anymore. Tradition is something that the old tradition is not happening anymore. There's new traditions that are founding. There are new traditions that are happening every single day. And I feel like the old traditions are dying out. And I feel like Republicans are trying to keep that dying tradition.
I'm listening.
Oh, done.
Alright, perfect. Actually, I need to. Should have done this before. Charge this. I do apologize. Have a little. Mess. going very, well, this is very interesting.
Did you pause it?
No, it's fine. It doesn't matter. The transcription is going to be done via YouTube's, some YouTube functions, but I'm not going to talk about everything that you say because that would be ad nauseum. Albeit I'm going to draw some key insights that you said that I found or didn't find that other participants said, and from there, I'm going to tell a beautiful story. That's how it goes, I suppose. So, alright, we're back and getting to my next question. So, tell me about your family growing up. What was that kind of structure?
What do you mean?
Who'd you live with growing up?
My aunt.
Just your aunt?
My aunt, my little cousins, my brother. Before my mom that passed away, her, my mother.
To your understanding, did you ever hear them talk about politics?
Yes.
Can you explain to me how that usually went?
They're more leaning towards anything that would help them out. So they weren't a big fan of the Busters. They weren't really fans of anything Republican. They were more Democratic, but that's just, I feel like they weren't really, they listened to the news, they listened to like all the hatred speech, but like they didn't really take time to look at like what could we do to change it. So I really didn't listen to them a lot when they talked about the news. Like it didn't interest me. But when I got older, it's like, what are we gonna do to make a change? How can we make a change? And I feel like they never brought that up. Never talked about that.
Your aunts and your family.
Yeah, they didn't talk about like what has changed. All they talked about was like what's wrong with the world, how everything's fucked up. Like they never talked about like how can we as Americans make a change. Even though we're black Americans, how can we make a change? We can make a change. I feel like that's like that in a lot of black homes where like they don't talk about how can we make a change. They talk about like this is what happened to us. This is how it affected us. Well, like what can we use that? How can we use that to be a change in our community? How can we use that to be a change in our country?
So to go off of that, I'm trying to find the correct wording here. Your aunts, I would assume, they're gonna be older than you.
Mhm.
They have different experiences than you.
Mhm.
Their sense of politics is a problem that affects them,
Mhm.
and you feel that by them not having an action plan coming from that problem, it kind of harms people.
Yes.
And in that sense, can you tell me just within your that family situation how that has impacted you on your journey to realizing your own political party leaning?
And it impacted me a lot. It made me not want to look at the news, not want to look at like. It made me ignorant on the political climate because I feel like I don't know a lot about the political climate. I feel like I need to know more. Uh, when President Trump was elected, I thought it was a shoe-in for Hillary to win, but apparently that was like a whoops, they can't win. Um, so it made me ignorant a lot. It made me ignorant on the fact that like I could have did something to help. Even though I didn't vote, I could have. If I did vote, I could have had that one say that one vote that might would have helped us. But it didn't. Oh well, too bad, so sad. We have a douchebag in presidency. Yippee ki yay! Oh, I'm done.
Okay, so I don't want to cut you off. I did that once. I'm sorry. So I have another question about this exposure to the just democratic practice of voting and figuring out what party should you vote under as versus not vote under as. So school, I talked about family. School now. Tell me about how school has impacted you or your political leaning, if any.
Not really a lot.
Okay. And I'm sorry, when I say school, I mean like middle school, high school, and then I'll bracket it off to college. But beginning with middle school's transition to high school.
We didn't really talk about the presidency a lot. We didn't really talk about like government a lot, especially in middle school. Like we talked about we talked about like the old government presidents that were there, and that was it. And then further on in high school, we had U.S. history, we had all the governments, and we weren't really talk. We didn't really talk a lot about it. I mean, we talked about it, but like it wasn't impactful for me. Like I didn't really care, 'cause like it didn't pertain to me. College, I had one government class and I didn't really like it, so I don't really like government because I feel like government doesn't do shit for people. So to me, I didn't learn shit about government. I just learned about history of men doing fucked up shit to make America great again.
So I want to actually get. I want to break my question up in two parts. So both of them are as a common denominator this level of impact. Now, in high school, you say that it wasn't very impactful and that, quote unquote, it didn't pertain to me. So, can you tell me how politics or the political process of democratic direct voting, how was that taught in high school?
They told me that the electoral college has the direct vote, and that we have a say, but we help the electoral college with that. I don't know. It was like something stupid like that, and I was
Okay.
like, well, that doesn't make sense to me. So you're basically saying that when we vote, our vote doesn't really matter. It goes through the electoral college. They ultimately make the final decision. So what the fuck am I voting for?
Okay.
So that's how I've always thought about it. I'm like, why am I casting this vote that possibly could help someone and possibly doesn't make any fucking sense to anyone?
Okay. And now on the second side of that, in college, you said you took one governmental class or class on government, and you also found it to not be impactful. Can you tell me how governments or the issues of government were taught?
It was by an old man with a yellow. Wait, he didn't teach on PowerPoint. He didn't teach anything. He lectured to us his notes on what God forever, whatever he thought his opinion was, and he was right on. And I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Your opinion is not valid. You're making excuses for all these old time men, and then you're saying like, oh well, I didn't agree with them, but here's what happened, blah 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 blah. But like, dude, why are we learning this? Why aren't we trying to? Why are we not trying to figure out what to do better? What Yeah, we have to learn from our mistakes, but like I feel like we constantly keep learning about the mistakes and the past decisions of others instead of like learning like here's what we learned from the past. Now here's what we can do to make it for the better. Or what do you think that we could do to make it for the better? They
So,
don't teach kids critical thinking.
oh, okay, thank you. So my question was kind of leaning. My next question was kind of lean towards that, but I'm gonna digress. What? Tell me what you were doing while sitting in high school and sitting in college, listening to this disinteresting information bounce off of you because it didn't penetrate you. It bounced off of you. So tell me, like, create the scene for me. Were you one of those that were just sitting there, nodding your head, putting face talk like, oh, I'm listening, but I could care less what you're saying? Or were you one that would always challenge what the teacher would say? Or
I did neither. I just took the notes and went
oh,
about my day.
okay.
I took the notes. I didn't challenge him because like he was a man set in his ways, and I'm like, dude, you being set in your ways is like annoying. So shut the fuck up. But I didn't agree with him. I just took the notes because like I wanted to get a good grade in class. I got to see in class, but I was like, whatever. To me, that class didn't make sense, and to me, that class wasn't necessary. But I had to have like a U.S. history or something.
Okay. Um. So our conversation's kind of just it's gonna shift just a little bit in a different direction. So going to be relevant to what we've been talking about thus far. So, in your own opinion, what is democracy to you?
Democracy is having a say, everyone having a say, not just a government. But democracy is like everyone with their own opinion having a say. But how can we do that if there's like 7 billion people in the world? Everyone can't have a say. But everyone needs a say because not everyone's going to always agree yes, but if they have a say, they feel like they're being heard. Everyone needs to be heard at one point in time. Because if they're not heard, they're gonna do. I feel like people will do drastic things.
Why do you feel that people will do drastic things if their voices aren't being heard?
Look at black people over history. They have been oppressed for many years, and we're constantly still getting young black men murdered. When is that gonna stop? Until like black people start shooting white people down in every block? When they start shooting everyone around us? Like, when is that going to stop? When is that going to be a better representation of America? Because like no one feels safe. Like black people can get stopped just for being black. Not speeding, not doing anything illegal, just for being black. How do you think people are going to react if they can't feel safe? How do you think people are going to feel if they can't be safe? It's going to be chaotic, and I feel like we're going to end up having more chaos until they start to see that, like, maybe we need to change.
So, okay. And I want to pose this question to you, and I'm going to do it in such a fashion. Um, interesting. We'll see. Now, if I was an alien coming down in my little spaceship, I'm like beep 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 beep, and I land in your yard, and I say, "Hi, my name is Jerry. I'm from planet something. Where am I?" You go, "Well, Jerry, you're in America." And I go, Jerry, the alien, "What is America? In your own opinion, describe to me what is America."
A fucked up place. You better watch out for they probe your ass.
Now, explain to Jerry why do you
Why is-
think and feel that America is a fucked up place?
Well, Jerry, to be an American is to be, if you're a black American, is to be subject to racial inequality. To be disappointed that you don't look like someone, or that you cannot have good representation of you through media, through just different areas. To be an American and black in America is like the worst thing ever. Because no one's going to listen to you, no one's going to fully agree with you. They're going to be like, oh yeah, slavery was bad, racism is bad. What are we doing to change it? And then that's making, and not saying that like racism doesn't happen in the black community. We're like, down with whitey this, whitey that. We just won't find that commonality that we should. We won't find that justice that we all deserve, that we all need. To be an American is to be fucking retarded. Because you don't give a fuck about anyone but yourself. And excuse my language, I don't like the word retarded. But we are mentally unequipped. Mentally and educationally and physically unequipped to deal with anything that would help us change. Because we are so stuck in a way of thinking and a way of being that it won't help anything to change now. We have to have something drastic to change it.
Like?
Well,
You can get very graphic if you want to. I could care less. I want more detail. I want all the detail you feel comfortable giving me.
I feel like the only way that will happen is if we had like a war. So then they'll finally understand, like, damn, we're gonna fucking kill ourselves because we're all stupid idiots. But hey, carpe diem, seize the moment, rah bullshit.
Okay, so, you touched on, your understanding and your own opinion of what democracy is to you, means to you. So, and it was a lengthy, very detailed description of democracy. Now, if you could use only one word to describe what democracy is to you, in your own opinion, what would that word be and why?
Would that word be?
Yeah, what word?
Democracy?
If you were to use only one word to describe, in your own opinion, what is democracy
Equal.
to you? It's equal.
Yes.
Okay. Why equal?
Because people have equal say.
Okay. So, In your opinion, what distinguishes a democratic society from a non-democratic society?
People not having the right to say anything, people not having the right to think their own thoughts. I feel like a lot of countries don't really have that.
In your own opinion, how important is democracy to you?
It's very important.
Why?
Because no one wants to not feel like they're needed in the country. But yet it happens so often.
So, in your own opinion, what does it mean to be a member of your political party?
Nothing really.
Why do you say nothing really?
Because like I said before, I don't really have a say in that. It just I'm there. I vote when they vote. And that's it. I don't rally with them. I don't fully support some of them unless they make sense to me. And a lot of people don't make sense, but they're there. I know it's like a big ass contradiction, but you support yours until that one comes that wants to change the ideas.
We have a couple more questions. So tell me, what is your view on U.S. politics in a domestic sense?
Can you elaborate on that question?
Actually, I can do one better. I can skip over these questions because everyone has issues with these questions. Um, Let me try to elaborate on it because that's pretty much the only two questions other than your demographic question. So, the how U.S. politics is used in a domestic sense. So, in-house, like USA, how do we use our U.S. How is U.S. politics used in a sense, in your opinion? Like, what's your view on that?
How do I? How is our politics beneficial? Is what you're asking?
I suppose. I don't know. I don't like these fucking questions. I don't like this fucking question.
Um. Well, it's not. It's not being used to its full abilities. Where like back in the day, back in the back day, they used to go town to town and actually talk to people for a while and actually get to know like the town, the area that they're trying to get them to vote for. Whereas now it's like, well, yippee motherfucker. You got social media, you got people tweeting about dumb shit, you got people fighting, arguing with everywhere in the fucking world and saying missiles, ready to shoot missiles at your ass. Like, he's not getting to know the people that voted for him. He's not getting to know anything about the people that didn't vote for him. He doesn't care.
And in an international sense,
Well, in an international sense, they it's stupid. Because, like, now went to Cuba, but what? How did we get to Cuba? Why did we get to Cuba? I feel like there's some commonality that we're missing that we don't see that is going to happen to us because he went to Cuba. Or why is he talking to Russia so much? Why is Russia the first place that we call? It makes us more suspicious. Whereas when we had other politicians, other presidents, you didn't have that outrageous like, oh my god, he's talking to them. But like we knew that they were talking to other countries and like they needed our help or we're gonna go to war with them. But like this one is like a god, oh my god, we're all gonna die situation.
Okay, so that's all the questions I have for you. I just gotta get some demographic questions. They'll be very, 2 minutes, give or take. It depends. So how do you identify your sex or gender, if at all?
Male.
Why?
Because I'm a man.
How do you identify your race, ethnicity, if at all?
Black.
Why?
Because of my skin.
What is your occupation?
I am an AmeriCorps worker and I'm a grad student.
What occupations have you had thus far?
Student and AmeriCorps worker.
What is your highest level of education obtained?
I have my bachelor's in human development.
Are you a military veteran?
Yep.
What is your age?
24.
Do you reside in an urban area or a rural area?
Urban.
Well, that's all I have for you. Do you have any questions for me?
Nope.
Alright, well thank you for taking the time to participate in my interview.